let's bring in our friends, the Nixons. What's up,
guys?
Hey. How's it going? We all made it. Before we get going, John, happy birthday. I know we're in late.
Thank you.
Well, happy birthday, Johnny.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This one was a better one than last year's, that's for sure. My birthday came right as everything was shutting down last year, and it was a little bit of a bummer. It was a great one, though. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, the reason we're all here today is we have started the pre-sale for the Nixons' very first commercial release, the very first thing they ever put out as a band, called the 6 EP. It's going to be out later this summer on the DFW Legacy Series. As part of the DFW Legacy Series, there was only one record that made sense to be the 6th release, and it was 6. So we kind of sat on this one for a little bit just to kind of have the nice synergy of saying the 6th release is 6. So
nice.
Very cool black and red vinyl. Oh, hold on. I think we got to get Jesse back in. There he is.
Hey.
What's up, Jesse? Can you hear us, Jesse?
Houston?
You have a problem, Houston?
Well, he'll chime in.
He'll chime in. He was there during the during our pre-show test. It's, you know, the sound check goes well. I'm sure you guys have been in that scenario where sound check goes great. You get up on stage, everything goes to hell. You know.
No, never, man. It's always perfect, Travis.
Or it's the other way around. Sound check is complete crap, and the show's great.
Yeah.
Those are the good nights.
So GI he just put the pre-sale live at DFWLegacySeries.com. This one is going to be an extremely limited release. The band is going to sign 100 copies, and when those 100 copies that are signed are gone, they're gone. There will be a very few unsigned copies that you'll be able to purchase as well, but there will not be a repress from DFW Legacy Series on this one. So I highly recommend that you go and pick it up, especially if you want the autographed one, because the autographed ones, every other release is selling out, and there's no doubt in my mind this one is going to as well. So I had people texting me all day today asking when GI was going to put the pre-sale live. So they could go get it. So, well, let's dig in a little bit. You know, I don't know who wants to take this, whether it's Zach or Ricky. Tell us kind of how the band started. How did you guys meet? How did you guys kind of come to the Nixons we know it now?
Well, I mean, I can start, and I'd love for Jesse and Ricky to weigh in on the very, very beginning, because we had kind of come together in Oklahoma City / Norman, playing honestly anywhere we could, backyards, pizza parlors, whatever, man, and playing cover songs, but then pretty quickly understanding, let's write our own music and release our own music. And we did, and a bunch of stuff happened right there at the beginning. People went around spray painting the Nixons on dumpsters. Ricky, gosh, I don't know who that could have been, but so a bunch of shit happened at the early on. Oh, I cannot cuss. I probably shouldn't cuss, but there are kids watching. Ben, GI's son, Ben's watching.
We knew.
No, but I mean, that's
really well.
But go ahead, Ricky.
Ricky, Jess, one of you guys jump in.
I met at the mall. He was working at Record Bar, and I was getting ready to move to LA. And I did. I moved to LA, and I worked at about a year. And the music business didn't really like me. I wasn't very good. And then I came back to Oklahoma during the spring and joined with Jesse and Ty Robinson, and that's how we really started. But early days there was a lot of self-promotion, thanks to who is it that makes spray paint? Who is it? Those guys that make spray paint?
DuPont Glidden.
Krylon. Thank you.
Krylon.
Awesome.
Well, so you said, Zach, you'd mentioned you guys were doing cover
Yeah.
songs. What bands were you
We should have
covering?
gotten an endorsement from those guys.
We should have, yeah. And Ronsenal should have endorsed us too.
I don't know, Jesus
That's
and
coming.
Mary Jane,
That's
Cure,
coming later.
you know. Yeah. Ron.
No, but Travis, to your question, we were
But then
kind of
we
covering
also
whatever
have
they
our
wanted
own
to
song,
hear.
and we got a couple of interesting gigs.
Hey, Ricky, you got a bad connection. Let's. I'm going to put you down in the waiting room. Let's have you restart and come back in.
Yeah, but Travis, to your question, I mean, we were playing whatever. And by the way, even at the point John joined the band, we were still playing cover songs. But by the way, we still play a trashy version of Rocket Man. So it's not beneath us to do that. It's fun to me. And so to answer your question, though, we were playing, anything. I mean, Replacements, all the bands of the day. And then we started to realize let's infuse some of our own stuff. And just to talk a little bit about those beginning days, we were, Jesse and I were the kind of the first two. Ricky came on board, and we were with as he mentioned with Ty. We released 6. There are some stories we can talk about how that all came to be, and it's pretty interesting to me how it all went down. How we sort of fought our way in to get to play shows in Dallas, Texas, because Dallas didn't want us there at the beginning. We were.
I've been real curious about that. I've been real curious what the entry point there was. It a specific person?
Oh, we got good stories, but let's just say this, that Travis, to answer your question, yeah, we were a cover band basically in Norman, Oklahoma, and then we weren't. We were like, nah, we're gonna play our own stuff. And trust me, we had some sorority girls that were unhappy when we started to do that. But that was sort of the plan, we can write our own music, we can release our own music, let's do it, and let's use this platform we have to go play a party, make some money, then go play a dive bar and make no money. And it worked for us for the first couple years. And yeah, that's kind of where we were when we started getting approached by people in Dallas to come play.
Well,
Jesse, you got us?
yeah, I
So
remember everything very vividly. It's funny because Rick and I were talking about it a little bit earlier. Zach and I were in another band before the Nixons called Is That an Animal? And that band kind of broke up because we were a college band, and I think our bass player graduated and became an engineer. So I literally one day called Ricky. He happened to answer the phone and was like, I just walked in the door. He drove down to my house because we lived pretty close to each other, and we were like, and then I was like, well, I know a pretty good singer. His name's Zach. I was just in the band with him. I called Zach, and Zach was like, sure. So then we had to decide a name and all that stuff, which is another story. But as far as the Dallas scene, Ricky and I had kind of discovered, the scene there. There was Dragon Street Records going on. There were bands like the Shag Nasties, Bat Mastersons. Then, we had discovered bands like Three on a Hill, which kind of led to, Funland, and there were bands like, after that, like the Bucknuts that came from that. The Flaming Lips had played with a band that was half guys from Oklahoma and half guys from Dallas. It was called Shallow Brain.
Mhm.
And we had discovered kind of this thing going on down there, and I was really fascinated with it. So in the process of discovering Dragon Street Records, we had recorded our first recordings, which were on this, what we call the Green album, which half of 6 is our songs from those recordings. So you have like half sort of newer songs that we recorded with Dragon Street, and half of these songs we had already recorded. I sent that cassette to Dragon Street Records and started a dialogue with Dragon Street Records, and lo and behold, they responded, which even Rick and I were trying to remember and ask ourselves, why would they respond? But, having gone through this process, gotten all of the classic rejection letters, like the one that you just put on social media with you too, I was kind of taken aback, like, wow, they actually responded. So we drove down. I remember driving to Dallas one day, meeting with Dave Denard, and and all that. And next thing you know, we're on Dragon Street Records. As far as getting in the Dallas scene, I sent a cassette to Trees because that was the place. And the guy would literally be like, I don't know. He told me to call him every Monday. So I proceeded to call him every Monday for about I don't know how many months. It was a long time. One day he finally goes, look, we're doing these tribute shows, and we're having a night. It's a Black Sabbath tribute night. Do you guys want to play? And we went and played that show on the Black Sabbath tribute night, and that was the beginning of kind of getting our foot in the door, so to speak.
Well, I'll jump in there and say that that Jesse, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit, so I'll translate a little bit. We met the people involved with Dragon Street. Jesse kind of cold called them, as young bands will do, which is badass, and they finally responded. Were interested, and then the rest is, there's other great stories about how we ended up signing with them and getting the sixth album off the ground. But yeah, the Trees basically said no until finally Jesse figured out that they would let us come play a Tuesday night Black Sabbath night. So you could learn like 2 Black Sabbath songs, and then they would let you play 2 of your own songs. And so we went and did it on a Tuesday. I think this idea lasted like 6 weeks, but it sure helped us out because we played Black Sabbath night. I think we played Sweet Leaf and War Pigs, and then whatever, Displaced Aggression and One by One, and we were off. And then at the end of the night, we're at the bar drinking with the staff, and they're like, next week is Van Halen night. So we learned Unchained and Ain't Talking About Love, and then played Displaced Aggression and One by One. And then, I'm not making this up, I think the next week they said it's Kiss night next Tuesday, and we learned whatever, and Deuce. I know Deuce because I couldn't sing it really well, so Ricky sang it. And then the next week, I think the guys at Trees said, we're having this band called Radiohead come, you should open. I'm probably getting my timeline off. That's a very romantic version of it, but we got into Trees. We got into Trees because we would do whatever it took to get into Trees, basically.
Awesome.
Definitely. So kind of going back, do you remember what the first song you guys collectively wrote as the Nixons together?
Well, I know the first song we wrote, and again, talking about Six, the first song we wrote that to me is one of the most important songs, and we can get into the philosophy of Six, but because it's a weird EP. As I go back and even look at I got my first copy that I went and bought at Bill's Records and Tapes right there. But I mean, Displaced Aggression was a massive song for us as far as a band sort of coalescing, and it's the first one that I remember vividly. Ricky and me and Jesse, getting our brains together. The rest of the album, we still play One by One, which is on there, so that's an important song too. But no, I mean, the first songs we started to write as a band, that was all the stuff that you would see on Halo, which was coming later.
Well, we wrote a lot of songs.
Zach and I wrote Displaced Aggression. One by One was Jesse. Jesse had the lyrics. He had the melody. He had One by One was pretty much Jesse. He had pretty much all of it and just kind of showed it to us. Displaced Aggression, Zach and I wrote it in his bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed or on the floor, wherever we were making out.
Nice. Well, so let's fast forward a little bit. So, John, did you know the Nixons?
Am I cutting out?
Did you know these guys? I mean, I know you're a huge Kiss fan, so was their cover of Deuce what brought you in as a Nixon?
No. So what had happened is I joined right as those tribute nights started to happen. So my sort of side story, and I don't even know if the guys know this, is that, my goal, especially back in the early 90s, late 80s, the goal of a band is to get a record deal. And so I wanted to go to California. I figured, that's where bands at that time, that's where you went. So there's a drum store here in Oklahoma City, or it used to be for years, called Just Drums. And literally, I know the owner, and she was telling me, I'm like, I need to make some money and make some money fast and head to California. And she's like, there's this great band in Norman. They're looking for a drummer. They're a huge frat party band. They make great money. I bet you would be a really good fit for them. The number was Jesse. So I called Jesse, and we talk a little bit, and I meet them at a rehearsal space in Norman. I don't meet Zach the first time. It's just Ricky and Jesse. And the first song, Ricky, we barely said hello, and he busts out one by one. Incidentally, I picked up 6 and learned all of it for the audition.
I didn't know that. That's
I
awesome.
learned all of it for the audition, and then so he starts. So Ricky's like, so you know your shit, huh? We'll see. Sorry, I don't mean to cuss. So you know your stuff. We'll see. And he goes for the punk, borderline punk rock song one by one, and right away. And luckily, I was able to keep up, and that was it. I met them. And I'm like, so where's the singer? Is the singer going to come? Zach wasn't there the first time. And Jesse, it's kind of funny, gave me this, our singer's kind of a Jim Morrison type.
Oh, God. Stop it.
I swear to God. Famous quote. But no. But seriously, I slowly found out that these guys weren't, about the cover frat party thing. They were wanting to get a record deal, write original material. They were writing original material. Had, this indie deal with Dragon Street at the time, and were breaking into the Dallas music scene. So I found what I wanted, and then, chemistry-wise, musically, it just fit. And then so the Tribute Nights at Trees started, the new material. I think they had already worked up Wire and Smile. I think the first new song they did with me was Happy Song, I think.
So, Jesse, what was your first impression of John when you met him?
Well, Ricky, this was funny. We had went through a couple drummers, and Ricky and I kind of went on this quest. Like, we had gotten an idea of what kind of drummer, we felt like we wanted. And it's funny because we had went to see, like, I'm talking regionally, every drummer that we thought was the best drummers, And it's funny because it kind of got whittled down to John and another guy you may know whose name is Greg Upchurch. I'm not kidding. And I remember thinking, about the whole thing. And so we had, anyway, to answer your question, we had seen John play, before he and I ever talked, blah, blah, blah. But when John came in and played, it was just like undeniable. We were like, well, he's John, So the rest is history, kind of.
So when you guys, you put out 6 on Dragon Street Records, was it just kind of Texas and Oklahoma, or when did it start branching out?
I mean, it was always kind of whatever would have us. We would go do, we were centrally located in Oklahoma, so we would do Fayetteville, Little Rock. There's a great place in Little Rock called Juanita's that's a Mexican restaurant with a rock venue in the back. We did all that stuff, man. We did all the stories you could hear, from the Bottleneck to Panhandle of Texas, Nacogdoches. We did everything and anything that would have us. And at the beginning it was a weird time because we would play some weird corporate party for the Department of Transportation. There's a story there, but I won't get into it. So we could buy a new van to go to New York to showcase blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it was always anything we could get, that was kind of the drill back then. It was just get out and play.
Yeah. I've heard legendary stories that you guys knew how to crash vans like nobody's business.
I've heard these stories as well. Probably from different sources, but credible sources.
We definitely went through vans.
We just wore them out.
Well, yeah.
We wore them out. We didn't. Yeah, we never really.
Perhaps that was a bad term, but yeah, that you guys knew how to go through vans, like they were running the ground.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We wore them out. We played 300 shows a year before we got signed. Before we did a record deal. Before we did a real record deal, we were playing 300 shows a year. So we didn't have jobs, so we had to play, even if it was like, we played to a lot of sound men. We did all of that. We played with great bands in front of nobody. We played with Tool. We played with all kinds of bands that were coming up. We were all just kind of part of a thing. We didn't know who was going to get big and who wasn't going to get big. Of course, Tool kind of did pretty well, and maybe a little better
we
than
literally,
we did.
Travis,
To some, but
I remember, kind of coming up with the strategy with the booking agent, and we literally drew a circle, Travis, and we figured out that certain cities were within, 6 to 7 hours. Like, we could get to Memphis in under 7 hours. Kansas City, same kind of deal. Lawrence had kind of a music scene then. Austin,
Mhm.
I mean, and so we literally hit every city that was within that circle over and over again. And we were fortunate in the sense that we had established ourselves as a college band, and we could play those shows like what Zach mentioned and kind of support the cause, so to speak, as we were, when we would go and play shows to just the sound man and the bartenders.
Well,
So-
I remember my very first Nixon show was almost by default. But I was the house DJ at a club that used to be called Monopolies for their teen nights, changed to a club called Xenon, and then they changed it back to what it was in the 80s called the Agora Ballroom. And in February of 93, you guys were the opening band for Dream Theater when they came through. And I remember we had heard, my roommate was the manager at the time, a guy by the name of Andy. I'll leave his last name out of it. But he sent me to go talk, and I think it was Zach that I talked to because we had heard about you guys setting fire to the stage during your shows. And I remember having the conversation with somebody, and it was, oh, no, we won't do that. We're not going to, we're guests, something along those lines. And I was like, awesome. You're on mute, Zach.
You're muted,
Stop
Zach.
right there. That was you? That was you?
That was me.
Wow.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
I told Andy, I went back up to DJ, was like, hey, man, they said they were cool. They said that they were going to respect and not do anything. And halfway through the set, Zach goes, and I don't remember, it's hazy because it was 93, but I just remember somehow fire ended up on the stage.
Okay. Let me clear this up for you. Not halfway.
Right.
The first song, we do this thing where we put a cymbal upside down, rubbing alcohol, lights on fire, and when you hit that cymbal, it shoots a ball of fire into the air. Yeah. And the way I tell the story, Travis, and I feel kind of bad now because some asshole told me we couldn't do fire. Yeah. And I said, okay. And I put a fire extinguisher next to the stage, and then we did the fireball into the air, and the power went down, and it feels like loaders worked harder than I've ever seen them work to get us the hell out of that building. And we were just in the alley, like 20 minutes after we had loaded in. So, and Ricky can decide whether he wants to tell you part 2 of that story. I'll leave it at that.
Well, more to part 1 was really, we didn't just do it to it was a full house. It was a chance to open for a band and get exposure. We're playing, and as I recall, the front row's like, we can't hear you. Like they were cutting us on sound. Yeah. And we felt like we weren't making, so we did what we always did is we become rebellious and okay, we're going to leave our mark. And so out comes so at the time, the funny story is I had a drum, it was on a rack system. Cymbal stands and toms are all mounted to this rack. I'm playing, and literally 2 guys take my entire kit off in one swoop. I'm left with a kick drum and a snare, and I'm like, well, I guess we're done.
And again, I seem to remember a mic stand really, really hitting the stage really hard and leaving a giant crack in one of the tile because up there. So, but that was my first indoctrination into the Nixons.
That was normal.
Andy.
That was normal.
Andy, the manager, after the show, came up to me. He's like, "You told me they weren't going to do that." And I was like, "I They told me they weren't. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm just I'm in the DJ booth. I'm waiting to play Aerosmith and AC/DC in between bands. That's what you pay me to do. That's what I'm here to do. So, and then fast forward, God, it was 94 maybe. But yeah, the next time I got to meet you guys and talk to you, Sister had kind of started to get played on the radio. And you guys came up to the Old Edge Studios out in Las Colinas where we overlooked some things out there. And, I just remember, thinking this is one of the greatest records I'd ever heard. So I was hooked from that point on. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, so I kind of wanted to go back to the fire thing because as we go through Halo, fire theme, FOMA, fire theme, you're still doing it on stage now. I mean, where was that? Where did it come from? What's the story behind that?
It comes from the fact that we played these bars that we just were talking about where some nights, sorry, but no one's paying attention. And we're like, no. We're going to make you pay attention and make, all the people in the back of the bar go, oh, is that guy lighting the stage on fire? I think he might be lighting the stage on fire. So that was it, man. Travis, we would do anything. I mean, Ricky talked about spray paint and it's not hyperbole. It's real. We weren't a punk rock band, but we were trying our best to just get our name out there however we could. And if it was lighting the stage on
if
fire,
we entertain you, we would sue you.
What's that, Ricky? Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Ricky again. Are you there? All right.
Basically what he's saying is, I'll translate because I know Ricky. We just wanted to entertain you.
Hey.
Now we got you again, Ricky. Now we got you again. Or we have. Well, hey, for those of y'all who are watching that are coming back in, the reason we're here tonight.
I was just saying, if we couldn't entertain you, we would just frighten you.
It's funny that you say that because I do remember one of the first times I met you at the Edge Studios, I was actually scared of you just because you were a tall guy with the dreads and that was very quiet. And those are the ones that are usually the scariest people, or the real quiet ones, because you don't know what's going to happen. So I remember John was very personable. Jesse, was always very personable. Zach was too. And Ricky was the guy that was just kind of quiet with the long dreads. And I just remember thinking, he scares me a little bit.
That was it. That was his job description.
Yeah, it's like band security / bass player. So, but yeah. So what I was gonna say is, if you guys, GI just kind of sent me a little bit of a text. It looks like we're already halfway through the signed 6 vinyls. So
I hear a nice problem sometimes. If you're in a venue, if we're in a venue together or a crowded restaurant, I won't talk very much.
All right, Ricky, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. You may have to reboot and come back in. So what I was saying, we're almost about halfway through the signed copies of 6.
I love that.
Head over to DFWLegacySeries.com. If you haven't ordered yours yet, if you're just enjoying the stream, listen to the stories, I highly encourage you to go order it now. Otherwise, if you wait, it may not be there for you. So, so as we go through and the 6 shows, I mean, back between there and the Halo, are there any shows that just, and Jesse, I can ask you this maybe, are there any shows that really stick out, that you guys are like, this is going to work, that this is it, we've got something really special here? And Jesse, you're on mute right now, so you might want to unmute.
Yeah, maybe Zach or John will take
it. All
it.
Right. We'll go to Zach and John. What about, you guys? I mean, was there one of those shows where you just knew?
John, what was the first show? I'm curious for you. Like, what was the first show that you were like, oh shit, this is cool. Like, I kind of get what's happening here,
I mean, technically my very first show was at the Hop in Fort Worth. That was my very first show. And I'm trying to think, I think maybe it was doing one of those tribute nights or or just learning about the guys as we go along. The work ethic is something all these guys, man, it's something I carry with me to this day. The work ethic of the band was to, this band was going to make it at all costs, and worked hard, played shows, played all the time, played everywhere, writing music. We lived that band, breathed, But I told my wife, my now wife, there's something special about this band, and I want to really see this through. And I'm sorry I'm not making any money right now, but just hang in there with me. I really feel this band has got something very special, and it's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and this will be a dumb one. Well, I have two dumb ones, but the first night we played Trees, and someone said, "Hey Zach, look out the window of like the upstairs dressing room. If you've ever been in the upstairs part of Trees, you can look down the street and see the line." And we had one of those lines that just went as far as you could see. One of the first nights we sold out Trees that night, and then the first night. And Travis, you were a big part of all of this stuff with radio and in DFW, but we got a sweet spot on Edgefest for Christ's sakes. I mean, it's crazy that happened, and it was amazing. And to be playing in front of that many people, and then years later to run into the dude from Blues Traveler and him be like, "I'm still pissed. We played after you guys at that Edgefest show." And yes, I mean, all those shows while a young band is coming up, those are big. Those are really big.
Yeah, there are two moments at Edgefest that happened that I still remember because I heard about it too. It was me and the program director at the time. It was yours, Blues Traveler, playing after you, and then the band that I really felt terrible for was a band called the Indians who had to play after Tripping Daisy one year. And, that is not an easy task to try to do, to follow. I mean, you guys, y'all were, you're the home team, and to put someone on after you, it's not fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in my memories I know that Edgefest show, that first one you guys were on was maybe the second show. I think I've seen you at Trees maybe once on like a weeknight or something. So it wasn't one of your shows sold out. But then, transfer up or, fast forward to the Edgefest show. And I remember watching you guys and all the other bands. I don't remember the exact lineup, but I remember it was really strong, and just thinking, wow, like our local guys fit right in with these dudes. Like it felt real, and that was cool because I was 14, 15 at the time. So for me, cool. This is amazing. Like
awesome.
Our bands like making the scene. You can see them down in Trees, but then you put them on the big stage, and it's like, wow, it's the real deal. So it just, you felt that groundswell even as a kid, even as a fan in the audience for real. You could feel that scene that you guys were a part of. And I think that's why to this day, it's still, I know for like myself and Travis, like we're still so passionate about that moment in time.
Yeah.
It just was a special thing that, it's kind of a once a lifetime thing. You're only that age, you're only that young kind of really impressionable age once. So what happens during that period, here we are 25 years later, you guys are still doing it, and we're still talking about it. We're pressing it on records. It's crazy. It's just a really cool thing, and it's just exciting.
Great, man. It's great.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear that too, GI. It really is. It's cool to hear that.
Well, speaking of Edgefest, I mean, there was a time there that the Nixons held the record for the most amount of Edgefest appearances. It was, and I remember having a conversation with our program director towards 99, 2000, Dwayne, and it was every discussion started with, who do we want? And we knew the Nixons would bring it every time. So it was like, this is the band we're going to go get. And, luckily for us, you guys were almost always, willing to do it or cancel plans to come in to do it or, whatever it took. So, that was awesome. There's a question for Ricky in the comments that says, I heard the story of Ricky being shirtless on stage and got creative with a tub of lipstick. He wrote pig on his chest. Is there any truth to this?
Shirtless.
Possibly.
Man, I've been pantsless. I've been everythingless. We were in New York one time, and man, I lost my mind. I just wanted to entertain. I've done more than take my shirt off. But of course it's true. What else is there? Lipstick? Oh yeah, lipstick.
Sharpie,
mascara. Yeah, I mean, hey, I got nail polish right here. I haven't changed.
Ricky, what is the semblance of the 7 on your bass rig?
Oh, you know what? It has nothing to do with luck. You know, I'm a twin.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a twin brother. He's a high school band director. We're both music people. He took a different profession, but the Germans write their 7 a certain way. So the 7 really has no significance at all. It's the fact that it's written the German way.
All right.
And I don't think I've ever really talked about this.
No.
But it was just a way for my brother to see that, you know, a part of him was up here too. Because we were born in Germany. And it's just like one of these weird multi-layered symbols that don't really mean anything to anyone else. And so it's never really come up, but it has nothing to do with superstitious luck or belief in the number 7 or anything else like that. It's about my brother.
Interesting. And then Zach, do you ever, your 30-foot stage dives, any injuries?
Oh yeah, lots of injuries. I'm probably, my wife will. She's here, by the way, like Stephen Colbert style. No, I almost turned the camera to her. No, she just laughs when I stand up from a couch these days and grunt like I'm 80 because I do feel 80. Because I dove off a tower at Whitewater water park in Oklahoma City, and they didn't catch me.
Oh,
it was sand, so it's a little better. I tried to scale a wall. I'm not Spider-Man. I tried to scale a wall and I fell on my back on concrete at trees once. So yeah, I'll be sore for the rest of my life. John can relate.
Well, we got a Paula. It came in. She wanted to say hi and let you guys know her grandson is named after you. I'm sure some people watching remember a band called Supercell. Jason Wheelington was the singer from Supercell who passed many, many years ago, but loved you guys. And I know Zach produced one of Supercell's albums, but he really loved you guys. He named Nixon after the band Nixon. He's 13. Wow. So Nixon, if you're watching, hi, good to hear from you and Grandma Paula.
Nixon, we love you. We love you. I don't know how to work these cameras, but we love you.
Well, so we're going to come up against time here in a little bit, and I want to fast forward a little bit now to 2017. So you guys hadn't played shows together in a long time with the original, the classic Nixon lineup that we know that was the FOMA lineup, the Halo lineup, and I know because I knew people who had made offers to try to get the band back together. I mean, for whatever reason. What made you guys decide that 2017 was the right time and it was time to get back in a room together and see if it worked?
I think the timing was just right. I think it literally worked out with my schedule and with Zach and everyone else's schedule to finally to do this. I after a certain point in time decided maybe it just wasn't going to happen. I would always hope that it would. Both my boys grew up watching me play with Seether, but only had seen, the Nixons on YouTube or whatever, loved the music and had hoped to see it, but I didn't know. I wasn't for sure. So an opportunity happened where a show in Oklahoma City and then Edge Fest, as you mentioned, in Dallas, the second show. And what was even more special than the shows was the first time we got in a room together to rehearse, and we kicked off Head, and my boys were there, and and it's like time faded away. I mean, it's like we still play just as tight. Well, pretty tight. We were still, just like we had never stopped, really, truly. And we get that a lot when we do these shows is, man, it's like you guys haven't stopped. And that's a compliment to me. But, I mean, the four of us together, it's just a special thing.
Were you nervous when obviously in the rehearsal room, it's a different vibe. It's just you guys. But when you guys took the stage in Oklahoma City and then again the next night, were there nerves? I mean, was it what were those feelings like?
Yeah, I would say, one weird thing about playing a lot and having not played at all for 20 years, like I hadn't played probably 17 or 18 years. I can walk up to the end of the stage with 20,000 people and not feel any nervousness at all. But that night, that first night, I was nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that what John was talking about is it's a weird thing. It's like, you know, we sort of had to go and get on phone calls with each other and maybe bury some hatchets and figure out how we were going to do it. But man, we were in a warehouse space in Oklahoma City, and it's an E chord. And when we hit that first E chord of Head to start the very first rehearsal, I'll never really forget it. It kind of washed over me in a way that was like, oh, damn, I remember this. Like, yeah, this is a space I can sort of get myself back into. And then, you know, and then I think we stopped halfway through because I forgot the lyrics, but you know, whatever. It just felt right from the beginning. So no, it was always cool. And that's one thing I wanted to say about the Travis, the fact that you guys chose the 6 EP to do. I think it's really cool. Like, as I grabbed my copy of it and I was looking at the track list, and Displaced Aggression, Head, and One by One. We hadn't played Displaced Aggression for a long, long time, but those are some important songs for us. You know, the songs that were on that little EP that, you know, in some ways didn't mean a lot. Like I don't even know how many it sold, and I don't care. But the songs that were on that EP were, in a weird way, beginnings of other things to happen. Secret was a song on that thing that I still love, and you know, we played it like a dozen times. It's not a super important song to our set list, but maybe it led to Passion, maybe it led to Sister. I don't know. All the songs on that EP, as I was looking at the track list just today, it was kind of cool for me to look back at it that way. You know, like it was some starting points for some things I didn't even realize at the time. But I appreciate you guys doing this, really. That was a cool album for us.
The thing that we haven't hit yet that I meant to hit at the beginning is we've actually added 2 tracks to this EP for the vinyl release. So you guys, and we'll get to that here in just a second, but you did a live stream that aired a few weeks ago. And so we got the new versions, and I say new because, you know, I know Displaced Aggression you hadn't played in forever. Right. So there's a 2020 live recording of Displaced Aggression and a 2020 recording of One by One that will round out 6 to 8 songs. But it's, you know, listening to when we did the production and we've remastered this for vinyl, so it will sound like it, you know, it's going to sound really warm and really great on vinyl. But listening to it and hearing the growth of the band from those EPs to the live versions of those songs. And, you know, in one sense, everyone's used to the studio live versions with the crowd and everything. And they're raw, live, solid recordings. And the only place you can get them is on this EP. So we're really grateful that you allowed us a little bit of access into that to be able to pull those out, to be able to add that to the EP.
How was that? Speaking of that live stream, I'm curious because obviously the last year of live music has changed so drastically. What was that like for you guys to get into that room to perform a show to nobody? And I know there was crew there and the camera, and it's probably similar to performing, you know, like for a TV show or something, but this is a whole set and you know, there's legitimately no audience, no one there at all. What was the feeling like? I'm curious because musicians all over doing this now and have been doing it for a while. So I'm curious what that feels like from that standpoint.
It didn't feel weird to me. I mean, when you play live, a lot of times you can't see the audience. Sure. And, you know, true. You can always just see that light in front of you. Yeah. And I don't know, I can only speak for myself, but the only person I listen to is John. I mean, the rest of the stuff could just fall apart and I probably wouldn't even know it. So that's just my perspective. The live stream was fine.
That's cool.
And from my perspective, I hated it. It sucks. No one was there. I want some people there to, like, you know, I can
Yeah.
high five on the front row.
Sure.
What the hell? No, I hear what Ricky's saying. In some ways, you do sometimes suck yourself into just the performance of it and make sure you're singing and performing well. But at the same time, I mean, that was the weirdest show I think I've ever played personally, just because no one was there. I mean, we played on late night NBC talk show, and it was kind of similar. That like it's so insular, but no, it was cool, and I'm glad we did it, and it's something for the fans to have. But I miss the crowds. I'm ready to get back out there.
Well, when you say it's something for the fans to have, I mean, are there any future plans for that show? Or
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Nice. So let's look to the future a little bit before we wrap up. I mean, 2021, everyone seems to be getting their vaccines getting on wait lists, those who want them. Live music's going to come back. I noticed on your website, it looks like you guys got a date with Tantric, and July 31st is what I thought I saw on there. I mean, are you guys looking forward to getting back out, or are there? I know in 2020 there was a fairly good sized tour you guys were gonna be on that got scrapped. And John, I know you've got a different day job, so I know that your son filled in the videos I saw on YouTube. Man, your son nailed it when he played.
He did.
Thank you. Yeah, he did great.
What's 2021, 2022 hold for the Nixons?
I think just like with everybody else, I think we've all gotten a little bit used to uncertainty, and so we're optimistically looking forward to, being able to do things at the end of summer. But
we'll see.
We're not the ones that decide the virus and the way people react to it. That's really what is going to determine whether or not we can do it safely. But we'll do something.
Absolutely.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, as we kind of start wrapping it up again, I'll hit it one more time. The 6 EP, the pre-sale, is going on now at DFWLegacySeries.com. There are 100 versions of the red and black limited edition vinyl that will be hand signed by the band. If you haven't seen what they've done on their website, again, I pulled these out of my own collection. Halo, Sonic Boom. So, these will be for sale on DFWLegacySeries.com. There's a little bit less expensive version that won't be signed, but it's going to be great to have. 2 additional songs. Displaced Aggression of One by One live as it happened in Oklahoma City from 2020. And, as we kind of look, I follow all 4 of you guys on your Facebook pages. I follow the band page. Ricky, it's always fascinating to me to see the motorcycle trips that you've taken or that you do. Have you been able to do anything like that, or is there any more plans in the future to go out and do anything?
I don't have plans. I mean, my tentative plan is to wait until the rest of my life falls apart and I become available again completely to just take off. But yeah, I'd like to ride a motorcycle all the way around Australia, and I would like to ride from Europe across Mongolia. I'd like to go up into Russia. I'd like to go all the way up to Russia and then take a boat over to Alaska, which I've been to Alaska like 4 times. And then I go back down, come back home. I wouldn't go back to South America just because the world's such a big place.
She's laughing, by the way. She's laughing.
Who's laughing?
It's great.
It's great. We love it. We love it, Ricky. Give me a sidecar, man. I'll just ride on a sidecar.
Please make sure you have cameras on that trip. Because never mind, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Jesse, I know you had been producing some other younger bands, and you're always writing music. I mean, is there anything you're kind of working on in 2021?
Yeah, more Nixons music is one thing. Been writing a lot lately. I enjoy producing, no doubt. But like Ricky said, I'm looking forward to. I think all bands are looking forward to things changing this year and playing shows and all that good stuff, no doubt.
Awesome. Well, Zach, I got to tell you, I was very intrigued when I saw Jarrett Reddick saying he was going to Nashville to do a country album with you. And I know you've also done your EPs. So is there more of that coming in the future?
Yes, another EP coming of my stuff, and I am producing a country album for Jarrett, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be funny, and a bunch of my friends are like, "Wait, what is that?" But it's good. It's really good. He's got some heartwarming stuff. He found some sisters and a father he didn't know he had. I didn't know that about Jarrett. But we wrote about a little bit about that, and then some other funny stuff as Bowling for Soup will want to do. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's fun.
And then John, I know Cedar put out an album last year, and I saw you guys have a display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's part of a Now and Then exhibit, and they have some things there. So the band's been talking about the band and family maybe taking a road trip, since, like Ricky mentioned, shows hopefully will start to resume towards the end of summer, and we're actively booking stuff in August and September. So maybe between now and then, the families and all of us might take a trip up there and check out the exhibit, and maybe do like an acoustic performance kind of thing. Maybe we'll record, do a video for or something. But yeah, it's awesome, man. It's kind of surreal, actually.
That's very cool.
Guys, thank you so much for taking, an hour and 20 minutes out of your week and your night. I know it's family time for everybody, but again, I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again. Thank you for allowing us access to Six and the extra live track. I'm super excited to have this on vinyl. I know GI is as well.
Me too.
And, it's
you can add it to our shelves, John.
Yes.
Up there.
I got to find place. I got to find place for it.
Yeah.
But it's been an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you guys and kind of go down the road of what it was like back in the early 90s and hear how the band got together. Because those are stories I'm a huge fan of the band, but I had never heard those stories. I didn't know a lot of that stuff that had happened. So I just want to thank you guys for the time. And
and thank you guys for doing this, man. This is really, really cool. It's cool to be a part of this, and really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Again, DFWLegacySeries.com, the 6 EP. I haven't gotten a sales update from GI, but he, if this is going to follow what the other ones have done, it's going to sell out. So get your order in now. And we'll talk to everybody real soon. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
you
y'all.
guys. Thanks,
Rock
Jeff.
on.
Thanks, Travis.